Welcome, everybody, to our monthly market update with Murdock, Manwaring and Cardon and eXp Realty. We are starting off our 2025. Even though you're getting this in February, we are looking back to January 2025, and we're going to go over the market stats for Bingham, Bonneville, Jefferson, and Madison counties here in Southeast Idaho. It has got some interesting stuff, so you're going to want to stick around and see. I think we're seeing a turn. If these stats look like anything, we might. It's pretty exciting. So check it out. And if you would like to receive these stats and even more slides, please head over to mmcidaho.com and go ahead and click at the top and get the newsletter. Then you can get these in your email and you'll get an update. And also you'll get some business highlights and some other fun stuff. So let's get started and let's talk about what happened at our beginning of 2025, Chad.
If you have any
Cool.
more questions about specific stuff that you like to see, just contact us too. So you can watch that and just give us a call and say, hey, what is this? What does absorption rate mean? Talk to me, Goose.
Exactly. Awesome. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Jess. Well, let's get rolling on market snapshot. Our first, we have 1 month of data for 2025, and we are seeing some interesting changes. So one change we don't like, and that is that home sales were down 14.5%. We had 76 sell in January of last year, and we were down to 65. Home prices were up though, and I'm not sure how that totally works because home prices have stayed very steady through our downturn with higher rates. But yeah, home prices were up 9% year over year. And this is the big one that I think Jessica was talking about. The exciting part is we're finally getting some inventory. So we had 110 new listings pop on the market last year. And this year, last month in January, we had 178 homes pop on the market. So that's an increase of 61.8% of new listings, new homes on the market. So rates went up.
Chad,
Yeah.
we're finally getting some inventory, and we haven't had inventory, which is what has kept our prices high. If it's a seller's market and we don't have enough inventory, we still have people buying. And when the inventory is low, so I think that's helping, is we're getting more inventory, and so we're going to see some stabilization in prices. But I think that's why they've kept going up. So we just haven't
Exactly. Yeah,
I think we just heard a lot. I mean, I don't know how many times I heard at the fourth quarter of 2024. I'm just going to wait and see what happens after the election and after the first of the year, after. Maybe this is after.
Yeah. Yeah, and people are just saying, hey, it's time to just do something. This is where we are. You know, I mean, my rate at 3% is awesome, but I also have a life I have to live, and we just have to move forward, you know. So anyway, that being said, you know, rates are a little higher than they were last year. 6.6 last year, and they're 7% roughly right now. So days on market went a little higher from 58 days to 69 days. That's the average amount of days that a home's on the market before it goes pending. And that is something that we see when we see inventory increasing. It also is absorption rate. And we move from 1.8 to 3.1. A lot of people don't understand this one. This is our big trigger, our big marker to tell us if we're in a buyer's or a seller's market. We moved pretty heavily up 1.3 months from 1.8 to 3.1, but we're still a pretty decently solid seller's market in Bonneville County. But we're going to talk about, because it's not in all price ranges. So on this next slide, we'll go a little bit more into what that means.
That's moving us toward a balanced market, which is what we love. We love to see a balanced market at 4 months. It's feeling balanced. And I think that interest rate, we had a lender on talking to us today. We're going to see. These are our rates, you know, in the mid 6s to 7s. Expect it for the whole year.
Except we had our lender talking with us, Brandon with Patriot Mortgage. You can buy down your rate to 5. If you're waiting and waiting and waiting, you don't have to wait. Just get your rate buy down. We've got some strategies that can help you with that. You can get a lower rate right now. Don't be afraid of that 7. We can get you lower. We just need to get you in and get together and talk about it.
It's been a long time since we talked about rate buy downs. I think people don't remember. We used to buy down the rate all the time. I think we're back in there.
Yep. So let's look at the real estate market overview here. There's a few things that I want to highlight, and that is for Bonneville County, if you can see my cursor here, the hot spot is from 250 to 450. The majority of our homes are selling in the $250,000 to $450,000 range. Only 5% of our homes are selling over $700,000. Okay, so there is movement. There are things that are going on, but it is not. It's a smaller part of our market. That being said, in the 250 to 450 range, absorption rate is still somewhat low. Sellers are still have the advantage because there's enough homes selling that the new inventory is able to also move at a good time. Where we're seeing some strong movement, and over the last few months, we've seen certain segments of price ranges increase, but now we are seeing pretty much everything over $600,000 to $1 million is now considered to be a buyer's market. And there's only about 2 homes selling a month in every $100,000 segment. So if you're listed between $700,000 and $800,000, there's only 2 selling a month. You got to be one of those 2. You got to
And you're competing with 16.
Yep, you're competing with 16. And so if you're on the market, you're one of 2 people. You're the one that sells, or you're helping the other one sell. And a lot of that just depends on presentation, marketing, and price. So anyway, that's probably the big things that I would say is that Bonneville County, main thing, 250 to 450, strong, decently solid sellers market. Over 600,000 to $1 million, we're now a buyer's market. So
I think this is really good for sellers to think about. You have got to be considering your condition of your home. You've got to, if you are above 500,000, you've got to get it in show ready. We're past that. It doesn't need to, if you want the money you want, condition will determine your price. So you need to get it to the best thing. It might be time to freshen the paint and the carpet to sell. You've got a lot of competition in a buyer's market. You're competing for that buyer's attention. So it's time to put your best dress and get the makeup done.
Yep. All right, let's move on to it's covered on my end. I can't see it on this one. Which county is this?
This is Bingham.
Bingham
Jeremy's up.
County. Bingham, you're up.
Sweet. Yeah, so in Bingham County, it's kind of the same trends that we're seeing, except home sales. With their home sales went up instead of down from year over year in the month of January. Listings that hit the market went live. We were up 30% as well. Days on market, look at that, down. So activity happening in Bingham County and happening quicker because last year we were 109 days, which, man, I don't remember it being that high, but there it is. And we've cut that in half. So
you remember for the last couple of years, we've been saying Bingham County is the dark horse in the race.
Yeah, that's right.
You ought to get into Bingham County now. And so now we're seeing that speed and that those good things happening in Bingham County. Bingham County used to be the cheapest county in Idaho to buy a house. Used to be the least expensive county in Idaho.
Nice.
Well, the weird part is right now for January, it's the most expensive county for sales in home prices in the last, for January. So
yeah. And to add on what you said on that last slide, Chad, that's just the average price. It's not like the whole market went up and everybody's home went up 7 or whatever that was in Bonneville County. It's just the average was lifted, probably had some higher end sales that happened. And so it pulled the whole average up. So that's what that 7.1 is the average for the month of January in 2025, 466 in Bingham County, which it's a big number.
I think that based on the days on market, because those are the closed sales. And if we had a big sale that had been on the market a long time, that probably hit the days on market at some point. The average price, with only 23 homes selling, there's a lot of opportunity to have a big something make a big impact.
Good. Interest rates again are the same, but look at the absorption rate as more inventory hits. We're seeing, the number of homes selling per month has been increasing, but we're still seeing our absorption rate increase year over year because of the extra listings hitting the market. So let's get in the price range one, Chad. You can see that, you know, over $500,000, we are seeing some activity, but not as much. The closed stuff, let's see, we got we're at 5 months, and in that green middle section, 5 months of absorption rate, and under 5 is 3.5. So it does take a little longer. Kind of an anomaly there at that 4.3 for over $1 million. You know, to say that's more, or it's quicker moving, and there's less inventory is the case, because you only have 3 total listings over $1 million, and so there's 78 under $500,000 and 36 in the green there. So things are still moving, and prices, I believe, are holding steady. Real quick, let's look at that in that middle section on the sale price to final price. It looks like, you know, you get over $1.25 million, you can expect 11% off of your ask price to actually get it sold on in that price range, which is interesting. But under 500,000, you know, we're only seeing a slight decrease in sell price, final close price to list price. So Bingham County, there's a lot happening. Zach, you mentioned there was a bunch of listings that went live in December that a couple of the builders had. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see me or hear me with my camera off. But yeah, just talking about that higher kind of average home price in Bonneville County or Bingham County. You know, Rockwell and a couple other builders, they've finished up a good amount of builds here between Idaho Falls and Rigby over the last couple months. And a lot of them have started moving in January. So I think that was reflected in those numbers we were seeing.
Yeah, good point.
Looking at that $1 million, remember when a few years ago we were amazed at how many houses were over $1 million in Bonneville County? We never had houses over $1 million. Look at what we've got now in Bingham County, houses over $1 million.
Yep.
So it's just, yeah, the changes. Unfortunately, some might say urban sprawl, but we like to say people like our area. That's what we like to say. They're moving.
Yep, it's great. And there's not, back to what Zach was saying too, that there's not many builders that can have such an impact on our market, because there isn't, you know, the great big builders putting hundreds of homes out. So when things like that happen, we stay in touch pretty close with those builders, so we know their inventory and what's coming available and how they're pricing and how it will affect our clients. So I think that's it for me on that. Go ahead. Jessica, you're Madison, right?
You want me to take Madison?
There you go.
All right, so taking a look at this, home sales. I mean, this is pretty, I mean, it's hard to imagine an entire county, only 10 homes sold. But Madison, and that's down 33%. And so that's really interesting to see, you know, that Madison County had a rough January in sales, but get excited, 100% increase on inventory in Madison County. So if you've been waiting for something to come on the market, it looks like we had a really good increase of new listings in Madison County. Days on market, we're up. Now, I'll say, you know, when you look at a closed sale, sometimes at the end of the year, if you don't have very many homes to sell, you know, if there was only 16 homes last January, you might see that some of the older homes might get sold on the market. That could cause a days on market to jump up for closed sales. But we'll check next month to see if days on market stay the same. Prices went up, which happens if there's low inventory. We might see some staying as we gain our inventory up there in Madison County. And about that, a little over a month of inventory, pretty much every county so far, adding about a month of inventory on that absorption rate, trending a little more toward getting to a balanced market. No different in Madison County. But I think the good news is there's a little more choice over there in Madison County. So let's break down, let's take a look at the breakdown of in the pricing sections.
If one thing I'll mention, Jess, is for January year over year, Madison County wins for the lowest price county in Southeast Idaho. I mean, you know, from 315 to 336, that's considerably lower than all the other counties for January. It's interesting.
And I think Madison County, I think we'll see some trends that way. They've this past year have converted and built a lot of condos that they're selling. For a long time, you didn't get, they had a lot of rentals, but they're selling more condos. They've really converted to that in Rexburg. So there's some affordable housing for BYU, Idaho. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because if you're new to the area, Madison County is our college town. We have the college there, and we have a huge expansion coming at the north end of town. There's some big stuff going on north end of Madison County. So like you said, Sugar City, we're seeing tons of townhomes, tons of condos. And so I think that is a trend that's going to happen in Madison County. If you want to get in there and get yourself some investment properties, you know, buy yourself some townhomes in that little college town. They're always looking for renters. And the bigger that town grows, the bigger the college grows. It's just, you know, it's a good spot to go. And if it's the cheapest county in Idaho, college town, get in there.
Yeah, you can pick up a good 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom townhome to rent out for under 200,000. So, yeah. If you're looking at under 500,000 in Madison County, that's still a solid seller's market. But you get over 500, you shift right on into a buyer's market. So 11 and a half months of inventory for 500 to $1 million. That's a big buyer's market. So be prepared if you're selling in that price range that you know, you got to be, again, take that into account. There'll be competition and things are moving slow up there. And same thing above $1 million. So
it's almost a non-existent market over 500,000 in Madison County. If you're for sale over 500,000, you've got to be very aggressive.
Yeah. Look at our days on market. Look at 500,000 to 700. Those average days on market on the current listings. It's a heavy load right there. Heavy load. Yep. So let's take a look at our final county of Jefferson County, which is just north here in Idaho Falls, our first county to have increase of sales. So January of 2025, they are up 50% from 13 to 20 homes sold in Jefferson County. And there we go, another really big push on new listings. So I think the word of the day is there's more inventory than we've seen in a long time to choose from. So if you're looking to buy, it's a great time to get out there. Home prices actually went down in Jefferson County in January over January of last year. Not much, but a little bit of a downturn. And we see that same absorption rate tick up, moving toward a balanced market. If you look in that lower right. So I think Jefferson County is more of the same. Days on market down a little bit, but yeah, I think the word of the day is more listings on the market.
So like
more listings
always brings up, just because home prices are down 2.5% doesn't mean that your house lost 2.5% in value.
Yeah.
Don't let that number scare you. That's not what that means. What does that number mean rather than losing value, Jessica?
It just means, what are people buying? What's the average price of what people buy this month? Not of what is the value, but what did they buy? What is our middle of the road? What are they purchasing? Yeah. So let's take a look at a quick breakdown on Jefferson County by price range. And let's take a look at what they are buying. Mr. Chad?
Yep.
He's on it.
There we go.
There we go. So if we take a look, what is interesting on Jefferson County, this is our first county that above 500,000 is not quite into a buyer's market yet. So if you look at below 500,000 over on the far right side in our blue section, we're at 3.7 months of inventory. So almost a balanced market. Again, 500 to 1 million into our green section. Same. That's really interesting. To be close to the same on absorption rate, to keep moving to that balanced market. And of course, above 1 million, they've moved steadily into that buyer's market, being above 6 months of inventory. But, you know, real popular as you look at a balanced market, anywhere from 350 to 700, pretty balanced. If you are looking at just the absorption rate, which is over on the far right, once you get to 4 to 6 months, that means nobody has an advantage. Buyers aren't in control, sellers aren't in control. We love a good balanced market. So I think that's the word of the day in Jefferson County. Anybody else have any insight?
No, I think you know, I think overall we're gonna see 2025 be kind of a year of kind of stabilization. I think the Feds are gonna soften a little bit on their stance on rate cuts. It seems inflation still seems to be a little bit volatile. So I think you know, my opinion is we're going to see a lot more people that just say, okay, this is what the market is. because we're probably going to see a lot of similarities to 2025 as we did in 2024.
Yep.
And we're seeing a lot of people are just saying, you know what, I'm not waiting any longer. You know, it's just this is our reality and our new normal, and going from there. So
I think if you're waiting for something, you're waiting for something that's we don't see on the horizon.
Yep.
If you want to move, if you want to buy or you want to sell, let's talk. There's nothing to wait for.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
And again, let us know if we can answer any questions on selling a home or buying a home for you specifically, and let us give you this information and analysis specific to your price and your home. And we'd love to help you out with that. Give us a call. See you
Thanks,
next
everybody.
month.
Thanks.
Yep.